I am in the middle of doing some 2024 prep for the new year, and I want to take you guys along for the ride. So, welcome to the vlogs. It has been a long time since we were doing a vlog, or since we've done a vlog, and it's time to do another one. However, I'm not really feeling the vibes in my office, so we're going to try to come up with some sort of something in the living room, because that's kind of where I feel like recording now. How does that look? Looks about as good as it's gonna get. But welcome to the vlogs. Today I want to talk about my thoughts for the year. Like I said, I've been doing 2024 prep. I'm kind of like in the middle of prepping for 2024. And in the last 2 weeks, I've really been thinking about what it is that I want, what I want to do, where I want to take my business, and different things like that. And I also want to talk about last year and reflect and like update you guys on what has been going on. Because like I said, it's been a long time since I've done a vlog. So not really much has changed, but still good to update you guys. Lately, I have honestly been feeling kind of like lost and a little overwhelmed of where I want to take my business in the future, where I want to go, and like what I want for my brand and business. So I'm hoping that if I share what I am going through, if you feel the same way as a content creator and you just kind of feel like lost and overwhelmed and like everybody has it together and you're the only one that doesn't have it together, you can realize that you're like not alone. And it's totally normal to not have everything figured out. Because my biggest problem is I am self-aware. I understand what the problems are that I am having, but I don't know how to fix them. And my biggest problem is I want to have everything planned. And I really want everything to go like really, really smoothly. And I want everything to work out, and I want to have a good time while I'm doing it and just kind of know what I'm doing and like have a plan, because I want to feel like in control. And if I don't have a plan, it kind of just feels scary and like out of control, and just, you know, it doesn't feel great to not know everything for me. But things just don't work that way. So I'm doing my best to try to like get out of that mindset and like understand that you don't have to have every single second of your life planned down to the minute. Like, I don't need to know what's going to be happening in 5 years. I don't need to know what's going to be happening in 3 years. I want to have goals for me to get there. Like, okay, this is what I'd like to do so that I know where I want to go, and I know that what I'm doing now is going to get me there, but obviously nothing is set in stone. And I need to realize that. But in terms of how 2023 went, it was honestly a great year. We bought our first house, which if you've been around for a while, you know was a massive goal of ours to do. Absolutely massive goal. We were so incredibly miserable in that apartment that it is just really nice to finally have our own place. And I feel like I can breathe, quite honestly. Like I feel like I can breathe again. And take a sigh of relief. And I have grown so much. I have changed and grown so much since we bought this house. I feel like I am a completely different person now than I was at the beginning of this process of buying a house, and even a completely different person compared to who I was in the apartment. We also got a second cat. We got Miss Millie. I think they're both sleeping on my bed right now. And it was a lot to take care of her. She had quite a bit of a year too, because she was on the streets, abandoned by someone in our old apartment complex, who we actually got to talk to and found out a little bit about her. She had babies. He kind of kicked her out once she had the babies. He sold all of the babies, and then we picked her up. She had to get used to being around another cat, get used to being an inside cat, when seems like she was pretty much an outside cat. She had to get her 4 front teeth taken out because they were broken. She now moved into this place, and then she got fixed not too long ago. So she was in a cone and a onesie for a little bit. And I'll put up some pictures and show you guys some things about what's been going on with them, because I take far too many pictures of these cats. But it's been a busy couple months for her. But both of them are settling in. They're not fighting as much, which is fantastic, because for a while there, they were testing every one of my last nerves because they wouldn't stop fighting. She was screaming and yelling a lot and meowing, and just, we've been better though. So that is nice. But I also had a lot going on in my business as well. And I was reading a journal entry from May of this year. And I was making $154 a month. That month I made $154. And now I am making over $1,000 a month. Fully booked on Pinterest clients, and I'm doing well when it comes to YouTube and like all this different type of stuff, which is kind of mind-boggling to look at, because I still feel behind. You know, like I still feel like I'm not doing the best. I get so in my head when it comes to my life. Like, I am a complete overachiever. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a perfectionist. I never feel like anything that I do is good enough. And those are all things that I am actively working on changing. But I always feel like nothing I ever do is good enough. And I'm like very, very hard on myself when it comes to my goals and just making progress in my life. And it's also hard for me, and if you're a creator, I'm sure you get the same thing as well, to see other creators out there who are killing it. And it seems like they have everything figured out. And they grew so much this year, or they just are way far ahead of you in general already. And, you know, I look at them and just think like, wow, you guys must have it all figured out. Like, you're just out here living your best life, living the life that I want, and everything must be so easy for you. And when in reality, you know that's not true. Like, I know that's not true. Like, sure, they might be ahead of me, but that doesn't really mean anything like about me. It doesn't mean anything about them. It also doesn't mean that things aren't hard for them and like stuff like that. Like, I know that to be true, but still, it's hard not to compare yourself, which, like I said, I'm sure many of you can relate to, because at the same time, I look back at myself, and I just read this journal entry today, which was insane to think I was making $154 a month that 1 month. And I was manifesting how much money that I wanted to be making. And I had a goal set really high. I wanted to make $10,000 a month, because I'm like, at that point, I was like, that's the benchmark for a good creator. Everybody wants to make $10,000 a month. So therefore, I should be making that much money, or I should want to make that much money. And that's not necessarily true for me. I don't really care to make that much money a month. Like, if I got to that point, great. I don't care to make that much. It doesn't mean anything to me to make $10,000 a month. That feels like an arbitrary, random goal. So I was doing some manifesting in my journal, and I was writing out what I actually made, what I wanted to manifest as my big goal, and then what I wanted to manifest, what I thought was realistic for me at that stage. And the amount of money that I was trying to manifest a month was $700. I am now making more than that. And so it was just crazy to see, because I'm thinking in the journal entry, I was talking about how like that feels selfish. Like, that feels like I'm making too much. Like, do I actually think I can make that much money? And now looking back, it's like, yeah, you can. Like, I couldn't believe that I didn't know that I could make that much. And like I said, I'm a completely different person now than I was then, because in May we were still in the apartments and I just wasn't in the best like mental state. So to see $700 seems like so much, and to be blown away by that amount of money and think like I could never make that. And now looking back and I'm making more than that, it's like, oh, you sweet, sweet summer child. Like, you have no idea what you can do. And I know that in the future, I want to be looking back on this video talking about making $1,000 a month when I'm making way more than that, because I will. And I'm going to be saying the same thing, like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought $2,000 was a ton of money. Now I'm making more than that, you know? So I'm just too hard on myself. And it's just like a terrible way to think of like comparing yourself, or, you know, not diminishing the goals that I'm currently hitting, because at some point I was dreaming for even less than this. And now I look at it and I'm like, oh, well, I should already have been here, or this creator or that creator is making more. So therefore my goal is not impressive. And like, who cares that you're making $1,000 a month? That's not impressive, because some of you guys could be looking at me thinking, how the hell is she making $1,000 a month? And I mean, I was just one of those people a few short months ago. I was like, how the hell are you making this much money a month? So like, people could be looking at me and thinking the same thing. So it's like, there's never enough. Like, there's always this comparison game. And I really, really want to get out of that mindset, because it's just not healthy. So I'm really trying to get out of my head and start thinking clearly and creating just to create, and honing in on what it is that I really want and who I really want to attract in my business. So moving forward with 2024, I spent the last 2 weeks just asking myself, like, what is it that I want? Where is it that I want to go in life in general? In 10 years, where do I see myself? And not really coming up with insane goals and like things that I need to super hone in on, but just the vibe for my life, the general feel, or like, what do I want? And a few things that come up when I think of a general vibe, almost like a mood board or like a vision board, is what comes up for me is easy, slow. I want life to be easy. I want life to be enjoyable. I want to be passionate about the things that I create, and I want to have fun. Like, that's really what I want. And goals for me is like, I know I want to be a mom at some point. in the near future. I want to be a mom. I also want to own a lake house. I would also love to create a community of women who lift each other up and are just creators and are just absolutely killing it in this creator space. I want to be a stay-at-home mom, and like I want to be able to run my business. I want to be able to have a business run while I take care of my children, and I can drop whatever the heck I'm doing so that I can attend to them if they need me. And I know that like I want to be able to take a vacation or like take 2 weeks off at the end of the year so that I can enjoy the holidays with my family and I don't need to work and I can just let my business run and it's going to do its thing. Or I can take a weekend vacation in the middle of the month and I don't have to think about it. It can be some random day and I can just take the day off. And like in terms of who I want to speak to in my business, I want to help other women take back the life that they love. And to me, it's kind of along the lines of creating a life that you love, but I feel like that's super, super overdone. And so I wanted to be a bit different with my messaging and with the way that I think, and also just in general, how I felt. I want to like speak to the woman who is stuck in her 9-to-5 job that she hates and she cannot wait to get out of. The creative woman who knows that she was meant for more and would love to start a creative business, like a blog or a YouTube channel or just whatever, creating content and building a life for her family and herself, if she doesn't have a family, beyond her wildest dreams. Like that's the person that I want to speak to because that's what I want for myself. I want to live life outside of work. And I want to speak to the person that I was when I was younger because I knew before I even got my first job that the 9-to-5 life wasn't for me. I knew in high school that I wanted to have a creative business and I didn't know at the time what that creative business was going to be, but I knew that working for somebody else wasn't for me and I knew I wanted to run my own business. And I'm doing that now. So it's funny to think like, I can't believe I'm here and like, oh gosh, I want to be somewhere else when 18, 17-year-old me would be so incredibly excited to know that I'm running the business of her dreams that she wanted. And like, I didn't really think about that until this video. And so that makes me like emotional to think about because like I'm doing the thing that I always wanted to do. And it seems hard to be so hard on myself now that I think about that way, because it's like, oh yeah, well, you know, I was somewhere different. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to run a business, and now I am running a business, so it like sucks that I feel like I have to compare myself to others and be like, I should be further, because 17-year-old me would be so proud to know that I'm doing this and making money on YouTube, because even back then I was doing YouTube videos on different channels. I was doing faceless channels. I was too scared to even talk, and now I'm sitting here in front of a camera making money from YouTube. Oh, that makes me really emotional. I didn't really think about that. But she would be proud of me because she couldn't even talk. She was so scared to get on camera. And now I have like 4,000-ish subscribers and I'm monetized on YouTube and things are good. Like that puts that into perspective like really well for me. But I know I want to help other women do the same thing. And I know that like doing how-to tutorials and like the kind of videos that I'm currently doing isn't going to fully encompass the message that I have. Like it's not going to fully bring the point home of I want to help women create a life that they love or take back the life that they love. I don't mind doing the how-tos and like teaching people. I absolutely love teaching people. I thought I was going to be a teacher when I was younger. Like I love how-tos. I love teaching people. I love getting comments of people saying like, I started my blog because of you, or I'm going to get up and do my first video right now because you inspired me, or I love this video. This is so inspiring, or I really resonate with that. Like I absolutely love that. But I also want to add something different into my content that like really encompasses take back the life you love. Like taking back the time from the things that you don't enjoy. Like give me back my time because time is so finite. Like you're never going to get a day back. So I would rather help someone build a business that they love so that they wake up every day super excited to work, as opposed to where I was in my 9-to-5 job. I worked with my husband, and I actually worked with my sister too, at a fast food restaurant. And if it wasn't for my husband working with me, I wouldn't have been able to get out of bed in the morning and get to my job. I wouldn't have been able to get through the day and even with my husband, I was so depressed at my job. And I don't want people to spend 40 plus hours a week or whatever at a job that you hate, because I hated it. I was so incredibly depressed at my job. I would not have been able to get out of bed and go to my job without my husband going with me. So it was a blessing that he was able to be there. And even with him, it was still really hard. So like, I want to help women take back that time from the things that they don't enjoy and paying attention to what's really, really important to you, whatever that happens to be. And that's what life is all about for me. It's not spending 40 hours a week at a job. It is doing other things, like not working until you die and then having a few years off, retiring at 60, and then finally being able to live life. That sounds horrible. And I never once understood the mindset that you have to just find a job that pays you, and like, who cares if you hate your job? Because everybody hates their job. I don't know if you've ever dealt with somebody with that mindset or like heard that before, but my mother was a lot like that. She did not understand why I didn't want to work the 9-to-5 job. She was just like, what's wrong with you? Like, when I told her that I hated it, she was like, well, that's life. Got to deal with it. Like, whatever, you just find a job that pays you and that's it. And I just, even as a kid, I didn't understand that, because I'm like, you can't tell me that everybody in the world hates their job. There is no way that there is nobody out there enjoying their life. One of my biggest inspiration pieces, like where I find the most inspiration, is at concerts. It is mind-boggling to me to imagine the energy on that stage as a singer who went through all of the motions to write the song, record the song, release the song, promote it, do all this stuff, and work so hard on a piece of literature that just like captivates your every emotion, and then have 50,000, 80,000, 40,000, thousands of people cheering and screaming and making signs and crying because you are so important to them and they love this song, and just screaming the lyrics back at you at the top of their lungs. I cannot imagine the energy that you must feel on that stage and how much fun and how much pride you must have. You can't tell me those people hate their job. Not everyone hates their job. There's no way everyone hates their job, and I don't like that mindset. So people are doing what they love. I don't know, that was a tangent, but like, that's not something that ever made sense to me. And I want to show others how to do the same thing. I want to show women who know that they were meant for more get to love their lives and love their jobs, and like bringing them out of that funk that I was in into something that can be really great. And I don't 100% know what that's going to look like yet. So my big thing for next year is just going to be thinking about, what is the next best video for me to create? What do I want to create? What sounds fun for me? Who is my target audience, and what would they be interested in? Not appealing to the masses anymore and creating how-to content just for the sake of creating how-to content and bringing in a bunch of viewers and subscribers. Because if those people don't care about me, I don't really want them here anyway. You know what I mean? Because I create this type of content because YouTubers say, you can't do lifestyle content. You can't just do content like this just to do content. You have to like, people don't care about you. You have to create how-to content in order to blow up. And like, they don't care about you. They care about the content that you're creating. And that sucks. Bringing in a bunch of people that don't care about you. I don't want that. And I know there are other people out there that are bringing in people that actually care about them. So I want to be able to do the same thing. And then I want to teach you how to do the same thing. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because if I give you all this advice about how to take back the life you love, create things you love, do what you love, all of that stuff, and then I do the opposite, that makes absolutely no sense. And again, not saying I don't like the how-to content and stuff like that, but I don't want to create just for the sake of like, I know this video is going to do well because vidIQ told me it was, so I'm going to create it. I want to create things that I actually enjoy and love creating and I'm passionate about. I've also been doing reels, and I'll put them on shorts as well a bit more. And I plan to do a lot more of that in the future, because if you're a creator and you're not doing shorts or reels, what the heck are you doing? I just posted a reel. Let me get the analytics for it. Crazy. I posted a reel about filling up your own cup, taking a break when you need it. In 3 hours and 30 minutes, 693 views. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And it's just me with some random song I found on YouTube, just walking around my house and like doing things to fill up your own cup, which is kind of my theme for this next year. And if you're not following me on Instagram, what are you doing? Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff. My Instagram is going to be short content of vlogs, mini vlogs, whatever the heck I feel like posting, and content that I love. So my YouTube channel kind of has to follow the same thing, because it just makes sense. Because I want to be able to post my Instagram reels on YouTube, so it needs to be the same content. Like, it just makes sense to have everything be the same. And one word that keeps coming back to me is simple. So that is going to be my word for next year. I like to create a word for the year, and that encompasses my goals, my vision, my life, my vision board. I got this idea from Catherine Manning because she puts a word for the year, and I like that idea. So my word for next year is simple, because that is exactly what I want my life to be. And I have made sure to start incorporating that into my life and my brand already. I've tried to make my marketing simple. I want my logos and my overall brand to be simple. I've bought fonts for myself that I really, really love. I updated my colors a little bit, all of that stuff. And I also simplified my business as well. I got rid of a lot of things that were not making me happy or things that I was not using. And I just cut back down to the basics. So for example, I had an email list. I got rid of it. I just never used it. I didn't really like email marketing, but I kept it because everyone said you have to have one. But I'm not interested in it. And so I'm not going to have one. Maybe I'll bring one back in the future. I'm not going to have one for a while at least, because there are people out there that are successful without an email list. And I can be one of those people. And like I said, I do know that I want to create a community or some sort of space that all of us can get together and just hang out, just be, support each other online on this journey of living a happy business life. I really want to create a community for women to get together. And I can't do that right now, but I know one day I will. I thought I could, which is why I created a Discord this year, but I wasn't really using it, so I got rid of it. I also thought at one point recently that I thought I could do YouTube memberships for a while. When I really started thinking about my life and what I want, my life is simple lifestyle, and that really didn't fit into that. So I ended up scrapping that too. And those things, getting rid of them kind of feels like a failure, but at the same time, it's not really a fail. It's just me simplifying my life to what really, really matters. I also tried starting a second blog. I thought I could start over and create a second blog that was going to house all of my lifestyle type content instead of having it on my current blog. But the truth is that did not fit into my simple lifestyle, because we plan on having kids at some point in the relatively near future. And I didn't want to be doing all of these things when I had a baby that I was going to be taking care of, because if my life is simple and life is all about becoming a mom and taking care of my kids and all that stuff, I didn't want to run 2 blogs and have an email list and do email marketing and memberships and then having multiple social media accounts, all of that stuff. Plus having a second blog might mean having a second social media. I didn't want to do all that. But what I really want is one place online to hold everything that I'm interested in. If I want to post one video on one topic, I'm going to post it. And then if the next week I want to post a slightly different topic, then I'm going to be doing that. That's just what I want to do. I want to post things that are in the same niche, but they're just branched out. They're more creative than just whatever I've been doing. I've got a lot of interests and I want to share them all. Another thing that I simplified was social medias that I'm on, because social media comments are quite literally the worst place on the internet. There are some miserable ass people out there, and I was sick of getting all of that feedback. And not from me, no one was negative towards me, but just seeing people being negative to other people and nasty. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? And it was really starting to get to me, just bringing in that negativity all day long. So I got rid of Facebook, I got rid of Twitter, I got rid of Threads. All of that has been deleted off my phone. I still have the accounts, but they've all been deleted off my phone. And I'm not really planning on focusing on TikTok either. The only thing that I have now is Instagram and technically Pinterest, but Pinterest isn't a social media site. But either way, those are the only 2 places that I'm going to be promoting my business, is Pinterest and Instagram. So if you feel all over the place, maybe it's time to scale back. Take a step back, breathe. Which is what I was talking about in the last podcast episode. What I was talking about in the reel that I'm talking about, where it's just take a step back. Breathe. Think about things, but try not to force them. And if you want to listen to the podcast episode, I will link it up here. It was a really good one, but I feel so much better about having a clear picture of what it is that I want, who I want to talk to, and the goals that I see myself hitting in the future. And it took quite a few weeks to get to this point. And of course, things can always update and change. But as of right now, I'm feeling better about the direction that I'm going in and my mindset and all this different type of stuff. So if that's how you're feeling too, you will fit in here. This was a really, really rambly video, and it was really, really long, but I hope you enjoyed. But I plan on doing a lot more 2024 content before the end of the year. So if you are interested in that, or if you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel down below, because I'll be doing a lot more content just like this. Bye.